Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy King07 here, back with another video. Before we get into this video, I want to remind you all the other kings and queens out there, and I hope you all having a very blessed day. This is a series that I'll be doing every week. It's a Giants reaction video to after they play their game. I'm most likely going to post it a day after the game comes out, because I feel like when you post a reaction right after the game, you might have some immediate thoughts and reactions, but you gotta take a step back, and then you gotta, so it's more, I guess, a review of the game than a real reaction, because I have had time to process and digest what I just witnessed. So first off, I'd like to talk about the opponent we were facing before I even get into talking about the New York Football Giants. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have made the playoffs 4 out of the last 6 years. The 2 years that they haven't made the playoffs, which is the last 2 years, they won 9-6-1, and then they managed to go 8-8 with Mason Rudolph, and then they had another. Mason Rudolph got hurt for a game, and then they had another quarterback. So basically, without Big Ben is what I'm trying to say. And Mason Rudolph, I mean, I'm not trying to take shots at him, but he's definitely not a starting NFL quarterback, especially last year. Maybe in the future down the line he might be, but that's impressive that they went 8-8 with that caliber of a starting quarterback the whole year, right? Last year, Steelers defense, top 5 defense, can't argue it, right? And the Steelers also, they've remained the same group core of guys for the offense and the defense, so they didn't necessarily need a training camp and preseason with each other to get accustomed to the defensive playbook, offensive playbook, and stuff like that. Now, with all that being said, basically I'm trying to say the Steelers, tough first opponent for the New York Giants, right? But let's get on to the Giants. We did see some signs, some positive signs and some negative signs, but realistically speaking, I did bet on them. I did pick them to win, but I feel like that was just a biased Giants fan. If I really wasn't a Giants fan looking from the outside in, obviously the clear choice would have been the Steelers to win the game. I was just hoping for, I was just being optimistic. I'm not gonna lie, I did bet on the Giants to win. I wanted to remain optimistic. I'm never rooting against my team. It was the first game of the season. I was like, hey, we might pull this one out. You never know. But for the Giants, we have to keep in mind the biggest struggle. I'll start off with the biggest struggle probably of the game was our offensive line. The inability to run the ball against the Steelers. The offensive line got absolutely manhandled. But yet again, I won't be too down on our offensive line. Listen, Nick Gates, center, playing a brand new position. Cam Fleming, brand new on the team. Andrew Thomas, first NFL game, his NFL debut. So 3 players of our offensive line, brand new, playing with each other. So I'm not going to hold them too accountable. But I mean, it was a really poor showing. Every single time Saquon Barkley got the handoff, he was stopped in the backfield. Like, he had nowhere to go. I felt bad for the man. Also, if we're talking about blocking, Saquon Barkley's blocking as a running back on passing plays, it was pretty abysmal. There was some plays, sorry, as my phone goes off, there were some plays that were bad from him as a blocker. I'm sure he's going to see that in tape and he's going to fix those mistakes. He knows, he's openly critiqued himself on his inability to pass block, but he'll see those mistakes in film session, and knowing the character he is and his work ethic, he'll really try his best to fix those mistakes that caused Danny Dimes to be under pressure a lot and take some sacks. Sticking with the offensive side of the football, Darius Slayton did very good. I was very impressed. I actually started him in my fantasy league. I expected a big game from him, if I'm being honest, when I saw Golden Tate was out of the starting lineup with I think a tight hamstring it was. Golden Tate, one of our only receivers that's able to run that streak and post route and take the top off the defense. One of our only real deep threats. Other than Darius Slayton, Shep, he had some good pickups down low, 4 or 5 yard catches, and ran for a couple yards after the catch. Evan Ingram was a little bit of a disappointment. Him and Danny Dimes seemed they weren't on the exact same page at all times. But I'm sure that with more repetitions, it'll just look crisper and cleaner on the field. They did have that one offensive pass interference call on him, which, if you're going to call that on him, you got to call the offensive pass interference on Claypool. That catch down the sideline, I think that was a bigger push-off than Ingram's, if I'm being honest. So You know, I'm not saying Ingram's wasn't a offensive pass interference, but if you're going to call that, you have to call it both ways, referees. That's what I'm going to say on that call. Now, in terms of Danny Dimes' performance, what I'm going to say is it's week 1. He played against the top 5 defense. He did have those 2 interceptions. TJ Watt did bait him into throwing that pick, the first pick, which did end up in a Steelers touchdown, unfortunately. It was just a great defensive play. I mean, I saw the window he was going to throw it into. It was a tight window to begin with. Maybe shouldn't have thrown that. Maybe should have just thrown it away if he didn't see anything else, because I think he was going to pick up like 3-4 yards maybe on that catch at best, right? So maybe just throw it away is your better option. The second interception, we were no huddle, scrambling to his left, looking in the back of the end zone. All I saw was Steelers there in the back of the end zone. I did see Darius Slayton. He might have been open, might have been able to squeeze that through the window, might have been open, but at that point, being down 6 points, you want to get the field goal on the board to go down 3 points. And you know what's crazy is I saw a very similar play by Daniel Jones later in the game, very close to the Steelers end zone. He did scramble to his left again, and he just threw it away. So it showed like immediate improvement in that scenario, in that situation. Like he learned from his mistake right away, which was a very promising sign. But Daniel Jones, he showed his ability to scramble. He made some good throws in the pocket. I mean, he barely had time to throw in the pocket. That offensive line, it struggled. But I'm confident. I did like Daniel Jones' performance. At times he looked very good, and then at times he showed he's a second-year sophomore in the league. He will make mistakes. Another big thing is he did have 0 fumbles, which is good. Lastly, I will be talking about the Giants' defense. Now, early on, I was like, wow, this defense, the secondary swarming everywhere, looked good. The defensive line stopping James Conner, not getting any gains on the rushes. It was looking promising, getting pressure on the quarterback. I liked what I was seeing, if I'm being honest. But with fatigue probably having a huge impact on the defense, it was no surprise to me. I mean, they hadn't played a full NFL game in months. It's been months for them. So, I mean, I couldn't expect their stellar defensive performance to continue into the third and fourth quarter and stuff like that. But overall, we were able to stop James Conner. But once Benny Snell came in, maybe a more physical running back, we did struggle. I'm not sure if that was fatigue or just the physicality overpowered us. Our secondary got very weak as the game went on. Corey Ballantyne got burned time and time again. But listen, our secondary, we always knew it was going to be a struggle for them early on. They are all very, very young guys, little to no NFL experience. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I'm remaining optimistic about our secondary. I'm not writing off Darnay Holmes or Corey Ballantyne just yet over one game against Big Ben. When Big Ben's on and he's having a good day, he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. I don't care what anybody says. And Juju Smith-Schuster, a very elite receiver. And that Steelers offense has returning pieces. So to think that they weren't going to come out and take advantage of a Giants team that a lot of pieces on that defense are brand new. Kyle Fackrell, Blake Martinez, Corey Ballantyne, you can still say he's new. Darnay Holmes. The Steelers' experienced offense did take advantage of the Giants' inexperienced defense overall. At the end of the day, we had no training camp, no preseason games, a lot of new faces on the defense too. So I wasn't surprised by the outcome overall, but there was some promising and good signs from some players. I'm looking forward to the game week 2 against the Bears. I guess I'll drop my prediction in this video as well. We are traveling to the Bears. It's going to be really tough stopping Khalil Mack. But I think our team will only grow as we get more reps in. So I'll remain optimistic. I'll give us, I'll give us a win over the Bears. This is me being serious. If I made this video on camera and I had to tell you if I thought the Giants or the Steelers were going to win, I'd tell you I think the Steelers are going to win, but I'm optimistic and I wouldn't be too surprised if the Giants somehow pulled it out of the bag, right? So my score prediction for the Giants-Bears game will be 23-16. Giants coming up with the victory. I think I think Mitchell Trubisky won't be able to pick apart this defense like Ben Roethlisberger was able to adjust midway through the game, and I think Daniel Jones will have and not even Daniel Jones, I think Saquon Barkley will have more running success, which will open up our passing game a whole lot more. But guys, stay tuned to the channel. I probably will be releasing double upload with the Madden franchise earlier today. If you guys did enjoy this reaction, let me know in the comments. If you guys want me to keep doing this, let me know. If you don't, just tell me, I guess, and I'll stop. I don't know if this gets like if this gets a lot more dislikes than likes, I guess I'll stop doing this. Giants fans, let me know what you thought about in week 1 and your reactions to the game. Maybe you had a different viewpoint than me, but I'm pleased with what I saw so far. I'm not writing us off the ship. I'm not going crazy yet. But if you guys did enjoy the episode, make sure to drop a like, a comment, and subscribe. It's been your boy, King7, and I'm out. Peace.